Hello everybody, I am Dr. Ruhi Bakhare and I will be dealing with the subject Integrated Marketing Communication and Brand Management. In the first unit of Integrated Marketing Communication, we will be having a look into the first topic, that is marketing communication. And the objective of this session, that is the things which we are going to learn in this session, are: what is marketing communication? What are the objectives of marketing communication? And what are the various decisions on the marketing communication mix? So, before we begin further, let's try to understand that what exactly we mean by communication itself. We can define communication in simple language as exchange of information through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. Let us try to understand what exactly symbols and signs are. What is the difference between them? So, a simple difference between sign and symbol is a sign is a form of language in its own right, and it is specifically meant to communicate certain information. Signs are usually informative, regulatory, warning, or prohibitory. A sign is ought to be followed as it is. This is very important. A sign is ought to be followed as it is. And what is symbol? Symbol is a form of a sign that may have deep meaning. It can be interpreted in different ways, since its meaning may not be universally shared by different people. At times, symbol doesn't have a universal understanding, but sign, yes, it does have a universal understanding. Now let's try to have a look into certain signs and symbols and try to understand what are they. Just look at the first picture. What is it? It is a symbol which talks about a shark is there in the water. So there is a underlined caution that one has to be very careful in case one wants to go on swimming. Let's have another example. Look at this particular picture. It shows that it is a sign which talks about a warning. In the earlier picture, nothing was written over here. You can see where my cursor is moving. It's simply a diamond shaped yellow colored board having a sign of a shark tail, right? But this board is a symbol, not a sign, but a board wherein some written information is there. A simple line is there, a line of caution which talks about shark has been spotted in this pool. They come out when they smell pee. So this is the warning sign. So it is a sign. Let's have a look into another picture. A signal which we come across every now and then while traveling. So a red light or a yellow light or a green light is a symbol. As far as red light is concerned, it means we need to stop there. As far as yellow light is concerned, it means we have to get ready. And green is obviously we need to move now. So when we talk about a railway line or say a roadside signal, it is a symbol. This particular picture talks about a symbol. Let's have a look into another picture. This is a picture which is again a sign. It's not a symbol, it's a sign. It is a stop sign. Stop is written on the board. Without this stop word, this diamond shaped picture doesn't have any meaning. So it's just a sign which talks about we need to stop there. A sign of stop can also be This picture can also be used as a symbol, since without the word stop, it doesn't signify anything. Unless and until we write stop over there, it doesn't have any meaning. So though it looks like a sign, but actually it is a symbol, which means we need to stop. Look at again this particular picture. If nothing is written under it, no mobile phones please. Even though a picture having a cross sign on the mobile itself is enough to communicate the message. If we do not use these words, still it can easily communicate the message. It becomes a sign. But when we write these words under it, it is now converted or say transformed into symbol. So it is sign as well as symbol. If we remove these words, it will be a sign. All right. So we have seen the difference between sign and a symbol, and now we are moving towards marketing communication offers solution to the following question. We are trying to understand marketing communication terminology. Okay. So we have understood what is communication, how we can make difference between sign and symbol, and now we are moving towards marketing communication. So marketing communication offers solution to these questions, these WH question. Why? Why shall the product be used? Another question is how? How can the product be used? And who? Who can use the product? Who are the customers? Who are the end users? Who will buy the product, right? For whom the product will be purchased. So these are the questions associated with this. Who can use the product? All right. Where can the product be used? And ultimately, the communication should answer, when can the product be used? So these are the WH questions which are mandatory for any marketing communication to offer solutions, right? So let's try to understand the objectives of marketing communication. The objectives, there are three basic objectives of marketing communication. First, to provide information, as much information as possible. That is informing. Informing to whom? Informing to the ultimate consumer. And what sort of information we are looking for? We are looking for the information of product launch, right? We are looking for explanation of product features and benefits. We are also looking for information with respect to the price, the features, the additional feature, the place where the product is available, right? So all such kind of information is providing such kind of information is one of the primary objective of marketing communication. At the same time, the second objective is persuading the customer. Persuasion means following up, giving the follow up to the customer. That is when the product moves towards the maturity phase. All right. You must have heard this term maturity phase in last semester itself. Where you have heard this particular phase? You must have heard this phase when you would have discussed the product life cycle. Recollected? Yes. Maturity phase is the second phase after the growth. All right. First phase is the introduction. After introduction of the product moves down to the growth phase, and after growth, the next phase is the maturity phase. All right. Wherein most of the customer already are aware and they must have purchased your product by the time that the further growth of the product is reduced at this maturity phase. And that is why there is a need to persuade the customer, right? Persuade them in order to upgrade or update the existing product, to provide them more information with respect to the product. And in this particular objective, it applies to customers' memory. Here, when the customer is very much aware about the product, its competitors, now there is a need to again make the customer realize about the product feature and persuade him to upgrade and update the product in the same product category. So this is the second objective. After informing the customer, you need to persuade him. And finally, the third objective, and again one of the most important objective of marketing communication, is reminding the customer, right? When the product has achieved a sales growth phase, again there is a requirement, necessity to remind the customer about the additional or say new product which would have introduced at that time. And again, here is a need to make the customer aware that how his product or how the company's product is much better over the competitors. Here, the positioning part of the product or brand has to be emphasized so that the product name, the brand name will always be there in the customer's mind in case if he is going to sell and rebuy the next product or maybe the product from the same category. So these are the three basic objectives of any type of marketing communication. Let me again revise it. The first is informing the customer, second is persuading the customer, and third is reminding the customer. These are the objectives. Now let's move further and try to understand the marketing communication mix. So, as we are already aware about these type of communication, and marketing communication mix is nothing but permutation combination of all these promotional measures. It may be sales promotion activity, it could be any kind of advertising, any kind of personal selling wherein one-to-one physical contact, face-to-face communication with the customer may be, in case required, the demonstration of the product is needed. So all these activities are covered in the personal selling part, all right? And it could also be interactive marketing. So this is also one of the measure of communicating with the customer. Again, the next part of this communication mix, marketing communication mix, consists of direct marketing. There is yet another part, that is personal relationship and publicity element with respect to the communication and promotion of the product. And finally, with the events and providing different kinds of experiences through the events organized for the customer, the experience can be provided. So your marketing communication mix comprises of all these activities, right from sales promotion to events and experiences. So these are the marketing communication mix. And yet another important part to understand in this are the basic instrument of marketing communication mix. Now let's try to understand these things one by one. You must have heard about all these things before as well. But here we will be having a quick recap of these activities. Now, as far as advertising is concerned, we all know that it is the paid form of communication. It could be a television ad, it could be a radio ad, simply audio medium of communicating information to the customer, or it even could be a print media. So every type of communication in the form of advertising is the first instrument of marketing communication mix. All right. The second is the sales promotion. Right. Again, you are well aware of this terminology, sales promotion, which means any promotional activity done to boost the sales, to increase the sales. Maybe distributing the free samples or coupons or any kind of gift hamper to increase the sales. That is the sales promotional activity. Let's have a look into the third instrument, which is the personal relationship, wherein a salesperson tries to establish a good relationship with the customer. But how he can do that? How he can maintain a good relationship? Can you give an example? Yes, there are many examples of creating, maintaining, and developing the good relationship, cordial relationship with the customer by giving him maybe the demonstration of the newly launched product in case required, or providing him free services for initial couple of years or maybe couple of months, and by giving him service reminder calls, so on and so forth. So these things come under personal relationship activity, right? One of the very important part, which is the important part with respect to services marketing, because without developing good relationship with the customers, you cannot sell your product. You cannot create the loyal customers. And to create loyalty is very important in today's competitive world, because customers have many choices with him, and it is very difficult to get a loyal customer these days. All right. So let's move to the fourth instrument, which is direct marketing. Right? Direct marketing is yet another important instrument. The direct marketing means contacting the customers directly. But how you can contact the customers directly? Can you give some examples? Yes, there are the different ways of contacting the customer directly, like sending him the mail, sending him some messages, or sending him some envelopes, or giving him a call, reaching the customer directly, one-to-one interaction with the customer. That is direct marketing. Now, exhibition is yet another important part, wherein you can create lot of database of the customer. Whosoever is visiting the stall or say the event, you can create a record of all these people visiting, and you can use that database for your promotional, right? And during exhibition, you can also offer the demonstration of the products wherever necessary. Creating corporate image through exhibitions, through personal relationship, through directly contacting the customer, giving him a reminder calls, or texting him some good messages during the different festival times or different occasions like his birthdays or anniversaries. You can create a good rapport, and thus the image of the individual salesperson, and as well as the good image of the company to which the employee belongs, can be built in the customer's mind. He will feel belongingness whenever a good call has been made by the sales executive to the customer on various occasions, not only on the festival time, but also on the occasions like birthdays and anniversaries. Personal selling, yes, another important instrument. Personal selling, wherein you are visiting the customer, giving him the demo, and solving the queries step by step as and when they arrive at the time of giving the demonstration. Right? So, that is the act of personal selling. Sponsorship, like the students, they get sponsorship for the college events. Similarly, the big events of the companies are also sponsored. You must have heard about many sponsored programs like IFA awards, right? Like Oscar awards, or many different big campaigns which are sponsored by big companies. People would like to get associated with this big event, maybe some launch of some new movie, the premiere of new movie, or say the big games like IPL, kabaddi, football. All these games are sponsored, and people, the big company, they actually stand in a queue to sponsor the big events, right? So that they can advertise their product during the event. So this is another instrument of marketing communication, wherein they can communicate to the customer on a very huge platform, a very popular platform, which is well accepted amongst the customer. Have you ever observed the packaging part of the product carefully? Because as far as the packaging is concerned, these days packaging has a very important part, has become a very important part with respect to the reminding part of a product is concerned. We have seen the objectives of communication, and one of them was reminder. So the packaging plays a good role of not only informing about the product, but also uh, it helps as a reminder as well, because the package of the product contains lot of information, right from the ingredients of the product till the manufacturing date, the expiry date, the instruction, the caution with respect to the storage of the product. Not only this information, but packaging also tells the customer from where the package has to be teared off, how the package or the material used for packaging to be disposed of. Is it biodegradable or not? Right? Whether the product is a vegetarian product or a non-vegetarian product. Have you observed a green dot on the package, or say a red dot on the package? What does it symbolizes? As far as the green dot on the package is concerned, it talks about the content of the product. That is, the product is vegetarian. And when the dot is red, it symbolizes that the content of the product is non-vegetarian. And as far as the children are concerned, this packaging itself help the parents to pick the product according to the choice of the children, because children who cannot read the content, or who cannot read the brand, who cannot recollect the brand, but they can recall the color of the package of the product which they like most. So they pick the product from the color of packet. So this is the importance of packaging. It displays, or it showcases the information related to the product ingredients, the batch of manufacturing of the product, the date of expiry, the date of manufacturing, batch number, manufacturer, in case of emergency, the contact number, email ID, every sort of information which a customer may need is available on the package itself. And at the same time, the beautiful packaging, the colorful packaging helps to recollect the product and its brand as well. Now, What is this POS? What does it stands for? Can you recollect it? You must have come across with this term in your last semester. POS is nothing but point of sales. It is a point of sales material which again acts as a marketing mix instrument. Now, what is this POS or point of sales material all about? It is that material which is kept at the time of, or these are the material which are kept at the billing counter, right? When you are almost done with your purchases and you are standing in the queue waiting for your turn to come for billing, you at times when you are looking here and there, at times these material catch your attention and you intend to buy these things. Can you recollect such items or such things which are kept at the counter which you don't intend to buy when you must have visited the mall or shop, but you buy it impulsively? Such kind of material could be socks, maybe some toys or keychains or handkerchiefs or chocolates which are kept at the counter, which may not be there as a part of your purchase list, but looking at them, you feel like buying these products. These are nothing but point of sales material. When you are already done with your purchases, these things are the add-on purchases which you do. So these also plays as a important instrument of marketing communication. Another instrument is word in mouth. Word of mouth publicity is yet another instrument, right, for which none of the companies pay. None of the executive is paid for, or say none of the customer is paid for speaking good about the company, all right, because he speaks about the product, his experience, about the salesperson whom he has met on the shop floor or in the mall, the experience which he has got. He will keep on talking about the experience. It may be good, it may be bad. If it is good experience, definitely a customer is going to share his good experience with his near and dearer ones. And obviously, it will help the people to get more information, and in order to get similar kind of experience, they would also tend to visit the outlet or say mall, and it acts as a promotional instrument. If the company really provides a good experience to its customer, the word and mouth will really play a great role of sales promotion. Internet. These days, internet has really played a great role for promoting the company's products and services. During this COVID era, when everyone was sitting back at home, no one is going in the market, obviously the people are not exposed to the external promotional medium, so internet has played a great role over here. Most of the companies, they are trying to reach to their ultimate target group via internet, sending them promotional material via WhatsApp, maybe through sending personalized communication to the customer, or at times organizing great online meetings with the customer for solving the queries, or maybe listening to their complaints in case if they are there. So internet has played a great role during this lockdown phase as well. It has become these days lifeblood to reach to the customer. It is it has become the necessity for every individual, every person, right from a child to the elderly person, right? Internet is the necessity of the time, and this COVID era has proven it. And finally, product placement. It is the last thing with respect to the basic instruments of marketing communication. Now, where the placement is done, dear students, as far as the product placement is done, actually it is not done in the market. It is not done on the shelf of the uh, it is not done on the shelf of any furniture or say almirah. The product placement is done here in the head, of the customer. How? By displaying the different kind of advertisement, by showing the different kind of advertisement, the product placement is done. And one of the effective way of product placement is through movies or any preferred say channel, or say a TV serial which is more popular, placing the product in the hands of the actor or actress or any kind of character played in the movie, or say a particular television serial, the placement is done. That apart from the product positioning which is done in the market, this is yet another part, product placement, which is done in the customer's mind, just like product positioning, helping the customer again to recollect the product, to recollect the brand, to recollect the product features. This act is done in different ways by different companies. So this is the product placement, right? I hope you must have understood all these instruments of marketing communication which we have discussed so far. Now let's move towards the very important thing of communication, that is the process of communication, right? So it is a very simple process. As you can see over here, there has to have a sender on one side. A sender is supposed to decide the message. He is the one who needs to communicate something. A sender may be a company, he could be a customer, he could be a client, anybody, the one who wants to communicate. He will be communicating that message through a channel, right? This channel could be any channel, could be internet, it could be any kind of audio video media, or it could only be audio media, or even could be simply a text message. So he has to select a channel through which he will reach to the final receiver, right? A receiver decodes the message, just like a sender encodes the message. He plants the message, he transmits the message through a communication channel, and he tries to reach to the ultimate receiver, who decodes and tries to interpret the message in the language he is well aware of. And when the loop is completed, when the receiver sends feedback to the sender, without the feedback, the communication process cannot get completed, right? So this process is completed only when there is a loop in it. Just like a sender sends the message to the receiver has to send a feedback, right? Whether he has understood the message in the right sense, whether he has liked the information, right? Or he doesn't like the information, or in case any kind of a query has arise in his mind and which he wants to share it with the sender, he can get it done through any kind of feedback mechanism. Maybe by filling up a particular form, maybe by calling the sender, maybe by sending him a mail, or any other kind of a communication. So this is how a receiver sends a feedback. It is an entire loop. And again, after listening to the queries or the feedback sent by the receiver, the sender will again comment on the things, or he may appreciate the comments, and in case some queries are there, he may try to solve the queries. And in between this process, there is a noise. What kind of noise or what kind of barrier? Noise of some kind of disturbance which may arise. Now, when we talk about a simple communication, the noise could be some kind of disturbance, maybe the ring of a phone, maybe noise of the outside environment, noise of your ceiling fan. These are all the noises. And when we talk about marketing communication process, here the noise means the advertisements done by the competitors, the promotional measures done by the competitors, some kind of confusion created by maybe the friends, the competitors, knowingly or unknowingly, misunderstanding of the message sent by the company. All these are barriers, all these are noises which occurs or happens in the mind of the customers, and which at times are also barrier in his decision making process. So this was all about the communication process. All right. So what we have seen in this session, we have seen what do we mean by communication. We have tried to understood the difference between signs and symbols. We have seen the three basic objective of marketing communication, which is the first one is information, providing information to the customer. Second is persuading the customer. And third is reminding the customer. Then we have seen the WH questions, which are one of the important part of communication in marketing. We have seen the marketing communication process at the last. Apart from these, we have also seen the instruments of marketing communication mix. So that's all from my side for this particular session. We will meet in the next session soon with some more inputs on Unit 1. Thank you. Thank you so much.